Hey everybody, this is the weekly forecast commencing on Monday, November the 11th, 2024. Big week. We're having a full moon on Friday in Taurus, and it's conjuncting disruptive breakthrough Uranus, so bringing a lot of surprises for several days, a lot of excitement, a lot of anxiousness. But also on Friday, taskmaster, career-oriented, security-oriented Saturn is going direct. It retrogrades every year. It retrograded June the 29th, 2024, and on November the 15th, 2024, it starts to move forwards once again. Saturn is transiting in Pisces. Saturn rules Capricorn. So you look to where Capricorn falls in your horoscope, or how Pisces is in relationship to your sun sign, and you might see where that part of your life indicated by the Saturn could have been more slow, more worrisome, more of a challenge. But now it's going to start releasing. Now it's going to take time, because when it starts to move forwards, just like Mercury, when it's retrograde and then goes direct, as it starts to move forwards, it's going very slow. So it takes time for taskmaster, Sirius, Saturn to start moving back to its regular speed, giving its best results. But it's no longer holding you back as much as it did. Things are being opened up for you. Look to Saturn rules Capricorn. If you have any Capricorn planets, look to where Saturn is transiting the sign of Pisces, how Pisces impacts your sun sign, where Pisces is transiting in your natal horoscope. That's all those more limitations and delays or worries that has been compressed starts to slowly open up. So big, important week of shifting energies. Now, because of the full moon that brings everything to light, and it's conjuncting liberating progressive Uranus, many of you, if that Saturn has been really holding and blocking you, you might start seeing Friday, Saturday, Sunday with the full moon, some real insights of what wants to start opening up for you. Now, before I go through what's happening each day of this week, if you enjoy these kinds of videos and would like to see more of them, click like and subscribe. And don't forget to click on the notification bell so you can receive the latest postings. Now, on Monday, November the 11th, the week starts with the moon in Pisces. The moon represents the overall public tone, public reactions. The Pisces is more sensitive, where you are more compassionate, more caring, or having your heart on your sleeve. Sometimes you can be overly sensitive and get your feelings hurt with the moon in Pisces. But this is a good one to start the work week, because the sun's in Scorpio, a water sign. Pisces is a water sign. And not only are they incompatible signs, so the energy is flowing more easily, it's forming a trine where the moon is exactly trining 120-degree angle to the sun. So that's the peak of this very favorable release around 7 a.m. Pacific time. This is very favorable energies for relationships, for just being, where things seem to be flow more effortlessly. Now, Venus, the planet of relationships, creativity, desires, it's also can represent finances, because Venus likes the finer things, which costs money. Venus, for several weeks, had been in outgoing, fiery Sagittarius, adventurous Sagittarius. But around 11:20 a.m. Pacific time on November the 11th, Venus, pleasurable-seeking Venus, goes into traditional, conventional Capricorn. And it will be there for just a month, about a month, till December the 6th. So when it comes to relationships, that Venus in Capricorn, we're more inclined to be more cautious, take it slower, be more traditional. And when it comes to the arts, that with the Venus in Capricorn, you know, if you're an artist and you're creating something with the Venus in Capricorn, this could be a time of accomplishing it, finishing it up, or monetizing it. Now, on Tuesday, the 12th, now the moon is in fiery Aries. Big difference in the public tone. Monday, the moon's in Pisces. We're more sensitive, more empathetic. But then when the moon moves into Aries, Aries is the bold fire sign. There's a lot of impulsiveness, restlessness, having more courage to initiate new actions. You're more fire in the belly, if you will. And discerning communication Mercury will be squaring Saturn. Now this will happen, the square will happen maybe twice a year. It is a time when communications Mercury, or information or news Mercury, gets more limited, frustrated. Usually it could be a time when communications gets more challenged, more frustrated, or you could be hearing worrisome news. You might also be more inclined to look through life with the glass half empty, because the Mercury is the mind, and Saturn can trigger a lot of more limitations. This too shall pass. It's not a great day to be doing new business, especially with that moon in Aries. You're all impulsive, let's go for it. But discerning communication Mercury is like, no, with the Saturn, hold back, sleep on it, wait till Wednesday. And Wednesday is much better, because now the moon, it continues in that excitable, courageous Aries, but it's going to be in a sextile, which is a harmonious flow of energy, to Jupiter. Saturn is that more contracting energy. Jupiter is expansive energy. Jupiter is travel, it's optimism, it's higher education. Now that emotional moon, favorable with the Jupiter, our feelings will be more upbeat, will be more encouraged, more optimistic. This is around 7, 8 a.m. Pacific time. Good for traveling, good for starting a study program, good for updating your website, do some internet marketing. Thursday, now the moon has shifted into Taurus, where when the public moon in Aries was restless, anxious, impulsive, then it goes into Taurus. And Taurus is calming, steady. In many ways, how it follows through is you get the impulse, you take action with the moon in Aries, and then when the moon in Taurus, it's now time to bring it down to earth, to monetize it, to slow things down. Now, 5 to 6 a.m. approximately, Pacific time, that moon in steady Taurus will be very favorable to relational Venus, sociable Venus, and Venus is the planet that rules Taurus, so this moon trine Venus in the early morning Pacific time is very compatible good for all kinds of relationships. But at the same time, the moon is squaring Mars. Mars is more this physical energy, and Venus is more this sociable, compatible energy. This is actually could trigger around 5, 6, maybe 7 a.m. Pacific time, a sudden infatuation, or for artists, a sudden insight and some motivation, some passion for a new creative expression. Later in the evening, it's going to be quite late, around 8, 9 p.m. Pacific time, the moon in steady, calming Taurus will be in harmony with stabilizing, grounding Saturn. So by the end of the day, if you're still awake, you'll be feeling more grounded. Now it takes us to Friday the 15th. And there's now Saturn, Taskmaster Saturn, is going to start to loosen up and move forwards. So wherever it's transiting, wherever Pisces is, and Saturn is transiting through Pisces, you might feel some of the pressure, the delays, the challenges, just slowly beginning to loosen up. It will flow more and more in the coming days and weeks. But the big thing that's going to be more obvious for most people is the full moon. Now, it's going to be in Taurus. The full moon brings a lot of matters that's been hidden to the surface. It will test relationships. That's what all full moons do. But it can really trigger a lot of emotional excitement, because Uranus, the planet of excitement and surprises and rebelliousness, is at 25 Taurus throughout November. And the full moon is going to be at 24 degrees of Taurus. So this full moon could be triggering Friday, maybe even Thursday, certainly Friday, Saturday into Sunday, these sudden emotional surprises and excitements. And with relationships, you might be suddenly connecting to a new relationship, or a current relationship could be really being tested, and the good ones survive and the bad ones or the weak ones start to show their cracks and weaknesses. On Saturday, the sun, which was part of the full moon, when the sun is opposite moon and conjuncting Uranus, that's Friday, the full moon. On Saturday, now the sun is at exactly, at 25 Scorpio. Now, the full moon was 24 degrees of Taurus, meaning that the sun was opposite or 24 degrees of Scorpio. That was Friday. On Saturday, now the sun has moved 1 degree, as it does each day, and now that powerful sun that puts a real spotlight of courage and confidence is now at the next degree of 25 degrees of Scorpio, but it's the exact opposition or confrontation with disruptive, rebellious Uranus at 25 Taurus. So this full moon on Uranus is going to be really strong on Friday and Saturday. And many of you may want to break from old restrictions, especially as Saturn might have been keeping you blocked or held back. Now it's starting to loosen up. So whether it's relationships, whether it's a business, a job, that sun, Uranus, wants to rebel, wants to break free. And the moon has left Taurus and has moved into Gemini on Saturday. Taurus is kind of sluggish, slow, and steady. When the moon goes into Gemini for the weekend, Gemini is very flexible, very adaptable, very talkative, jumping from one thing to another, a lot of mental busyness, lots of conversations and brainstorming. And that moon in Gemini will be in harmony to Mars, kind of restless, impatient Mars, but it's in harmony. So there's a lot of excitement going on here, but that's around 6, 7 a.m. Pacific time. But the whole day, and even from Friday, but all day Saturday, having that sun opposite Uranus, many of you are trying to finally break free from where you've been feeling. It could very well been indicated by where the Saturn in retrograde had been slowing you down. On Sunday the 17th, the moon continues in Gemini, restless, flexible Gemini, but it's going to cross over expansive Jupiter that's transiting Gemini this year. So the moon Jupiter is going to be around 7, 8, 9 maybe a.m. Pacific time. Emotionally, the moon with the Jupiter, you could be feeling so much more upbeat and optimistic. But the moon could be these emotional needs to get on with, in positive ways, all things Jupiter. Traveling, education, publishing, marketing. But the overall tone on Sunday, especially earlier in the day, with that moon, emotional moon crossing over Jupiter, so many of you will be feeling really upbeat and uplifted. I want to thank you for watching. If you like information on how to book an astrology reading or to check out my 2-question offer, visit my website at gardino.go. That's .co. Until next week, be safe and well.